YWCA Hamilton is pleased to present the 2021 Outstanding Women of Achievement. Dr. Ywca Malik. Dr. Ywca Malik shares her time, her energy, and her expertise. She believes faith and service to others go hand in hand, and from a young age, her parents exemplified the values of a helping society. Through their careers and their volunteering, striving to help those less fortunate, whether locally or abroad. They encourage Ywca to pack supplies for refugee drives, donate for those less fortunate, and to constantly ask, what else can I do for others? As a team leader for Surgical Eye Expedition, traveling to Ecuador, Fiji, India, and Mexico, she taught students, coordinated camps, and performed almost 100 surgeries. In addition to clinical practice, Ywca is a medical director at MedPace, a global CRO, providing full-service clinical development to biopharmaceutical and medical device companies. She has been serving as assistant clinical professor in the surgery department at Wright State University Boonshoff School of Medicine since 2008. She participates in the Global Health Education Advisory, the Scholarship in Medicine, and the Medical School Admissions Committees. She is passionate about global health and conducts yearly health camps, mostly partnering with NGOs to provide cataract surgery to economically underserved areas. She has lectured nationally and internationally on sustainable global health, professional development, gender equity, health disparities, and leadership. Dr. Malik is listed on the 2021 Power List of Top 100 Ophthalmologists. Whether it's having served as a board member for American Muslim Health Professional and their work on health advocacy, mental health, and professional development, or partnering with local NGOs to perform surgeries and train local providers in developing nations, or serving as a youth advisor for the local mosque youth groups, or mentoring for Women Walking West and advancing the educational dreams of young immigrant women, much of her volunteer time gravitates around the themes of equity through addressing racial, gender, and health disparities.
Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Life's most urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" As I reflect on the Outstanding Women of Achievement honor, I realize much of my volunteer time has been centered around the themes of equity through addressing racial, gender, and health disparities. These themes are echoed in the mission of the YWCA. I'm humbled to be included in this year's cohort of inspirational women and would like to thank the YWCA for this honor. I would like to thank my parents, Razia and Syed Malik, for instilling in me the belief that I could accomplish anything with determination and hard work. From a young age, I have witnessed my parents exemplify the value of service to others through their generosity to help those locally and abroad. Their example has solidified for me that faith and service go hand in hand. One cannot exist without the other. I am inspired daily by my children, Jihad, Saad, and Aya, who constantly amaze me with their creativity and determination. I cannot wait to see you find your purpose and impact your communities. Finally, I would like to thank my husband, Mukarram Khan, in whom I have found my soulmate. His quiet presence has calmed me through the crazy times, and unwavering support encourages me when I doubt myself. Thank you for keeping me laughing when I've wanted to pull my hair out. Malcolm X said, "A man who stands for nothing will fall for anything." I encourage all women and men to define their values and not only be at the table where the decisions are being made, but pull up some extra chairs to bring in diverse perspectives.
Liz Hayden, Planning Director for the City of Hamilton, former Board Chair, YWCA Hamilton. Liz is recognized and respected by many, playing an active role in the City of Hamilton and sharing her talent with many boards and committees. She is the immediate past board chair of YWCA Hamilton, where she helped breathe new life into a century-old agency. She is incredibly smart, honest, beautiful, contemplative, and humble. Liz looks to Wendy Waters Cannell as an inspiration. Liz's incredible work ethic and devotion to YWCA's mission are traits that both women share. Additionally, both women answer emails. As Liz states, sometimes the little things make all the difference. Tremendous good fortune has blessed Liz, and she believes that it is important to use those blessings in a positive way. For those who are given much, much is expected. She hopes her work will, in some way, provide benefit for our community. Liz intentionally finds opportunities to open doors and mentor other people who are trying to find their way, especially young women. Liz shares that her involvement in the transformation of YWCA Hamilton has been incredibly meaningful and a source of pride. She learned the importance of reaching out for help, the importance of leading hard conversations head on, and even when to trust her gut. She tries to employ these lessons when faced with obstacles. Additionally, she is proud of her part in the evolution of the city of Hamilton. She knows that she is a contributing member to something really special.
Thank you so much to the YWCA Hamilton for this amazing recognition. I am deeply humbled to be honored by an organization that means so much to me. And congratulations to the other 2021 honorees. You are truly impressive, and I can't believe I get to share this recognition with you. My involvement in the YWCA Hamilton has been incredibly meaningful to me. 5 years ago, I was worried about the future of this organization. And today, the YWCA is breaking ground on a new building that will help transform many more women's lives in figuring out how to spend an unprecedented $1 million gift to further their racial justice efforts. I have to admit that I am really proud that I got to play a small role in this transformation and what I've learned and how I've grown from this involvement. I also want to say thank you for everything that Cherie Bluster did for this organization, and that my prayers are with her family, especially her daughter. As for my job with the City of Hamilton and my involvement in development efforts in our community, I don't need any recognition for it since it's so fun and rewarding. It's been great to see our community transform over the past 9 years, and I'm so grateful for the continued opportunity for new challenges and great teammates. It really feels like we are all a part of something special happening in Hamilton. One of the 2020 honorees said that no one achieves alone. That resonated with me deeply. I've been blessed with tremendous good fortune. I was born into an amazing family. My parents are the hardest workers I know and sacrifice to provide opportunities for me and my siblings. Then I met my amazing husband. He's a great human being to his core, and I'm 10 times the person I would have been without him in my life. Together we have 2 young children and another one on the way. I've never been a maternal person, but it turns out motherhood is the best role I've ever had. Plus, I've gained some of that patience I've always known I've needed. I seriously feel like I need to add a motherhood section to my resume because moms are rock stars. And finally, I want to make a quick shout out to my amazing friends. We don't have family here in Hamilton, but you wouldn't know it by how amazing our tribe is. For what it's worth, here are some of my lessons learned for anyone wanting to get involved in their community. First, don't be afraid to ask somebody you admire to get coffee. You'd be amazed at how giving most people are of their time and the benefits of these connections. 2, if you see something cool that you would like to be involved in, reach out and ask. You'd be surprised how infrequently this happens, so often they will welcome you with open arms. Number 3, mentoring mostly happens unofficially, so take advantage of any opportunity that arises to learn from smart people around you, and as you find success, pay it forward. Purposely find opportunities to open doors to other people trying to find their way. And finally, if you have a cool idea and you're willing to put the work in, people will help you make it happen. Operation Pumpkin, the Hamilton Flea, Alive After 5, and countless other cool ideas came to fruition because a resident took action on something they thought would be fun. Thank you again for this amazing honor, and cheers to the YWCA Hamilton's bright future.
Allison Kurtz, National Ambassador for Children's Miracle Network, Patient Advisor for Cincinnati Children's Transgender Health Clinic. Allison Kurtz, YWCA Hamilton's Emerging Leader recipient, is inspired by many women and many voices. With these women, she shares a commitment to making the world a little bit less scary than the one in which she grew up, and works tirelessly to help people realize and understand their own identity while finding reasons for celebration along the way. To Allison, sharing her story and her voice is fundamental and has always felt like the right thing to do. She believes that if someone steps up to the podium, she has a responsibility. And Allison's responsibility is to share her story in order to make things better for those who might be on the same path. Roadblocks, Allison says, have come from within, making it difficult to recognize and fight. Mental health and gender identity were constant stressors, especially with public perception or misperception of both. Allison attributes her friends, new and old, as the support and inspiration to keep her going. Her friends make the great moments even greater. Having a support system and a close group of people who know and truly love her has always been her reason for taking the next step. This award means so much to Allison because she knows that someone else is living a very similar life. She is the first trans woman to receive this award and a second-generation award winner, following her mother Kelly, who was honored in 2011. Allison hopes by sharing her story that other persons will not feel so alone, and shares this quote from Emily Dickinson: "If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain."
I've never been too good at writing things that I'll have to read out loud later. I always feel like I'm gonna miss something, or like I'm gonna end up just a few inches away from something that would have been perfect to say. It's part of the reason I had been putting off writing my acceptance speech. For something so important, it really feels like a crime to get it wrong. That being said, I think it's better to have said something messy and imperfect than it is to say nothing at all. That's sort of the mantra I live by. I don't think I'm the perfect advocate. I try my best, but it's a big category to fill. I'm never going to say something that will change the world in one fell swoop, but at least I'm saying something, and that something, little as it is, makes a difference. I don't think someone like me getting nominated for this honor would have happened, say, 10, 15 years ago. Maybe I get some things wrong, but every time I get something right, it can stick with people, and then those people become advocates themselves. I don't think I could ever change the world by myself, but all of us, together, we could change everything, so that someday a transgender girl is just a girl who happens to be transgender. Someone who doesn't have to march through adversity to reach a happy place. Thank you, from the bottom of my heart, for this honor. Thank you for showing me that I'm making a difference, that we can make a difference. Thank you for helping me change the world.
Reverend Etta Caver. Etta wakes up every day joyously energized by having another glorious opportunity to make a positive difference in someone's life, and then turns to her books, because at 67, she is almost finished with her PhD in social work. The woman who inspired Etta so unselfishly and invited Etta into her life is Elsa Croucher. Etta met Elsa and Jim Croucher, the founders of Citizens Against Domestic Violence, in 2003 when they were giving a talk about their daughter Tina, who was murdered by her boyfriend. Etta was amazed with how courageously the Crouchers shared their story. Jim then invited Etta to share her story. Shocked and afraid, somehow Jim convinced her to share. That evening, Etta's life changed. Shortly afterward, she began her career as an advocate at Middletown Municipal Court. For the next 11 years, she traveled with Elsa and Jim, sharing her story. They spoke to over 100,000 students, gave hundreds of presentations, helped hundreds of victims, and implemented 2 laws, one being the Tina Croucher Act of 2009. Etta knows firsthand the ways in which people misunderstand domestic violence. She intimately knew her abusers, but did not seem to know herself. She needed to find answers to who she was and to understand how she could have been treated with such cruelty. So at 47 years of age, Etta enrolled at Miami University. Etta knows that knowledge is power. She is driven to see every woman strengthened and empowered by understanding what domestic violence is and how to stay safe. This is what motivates her. Etta dedicates all of these awards to her mother, Emmy Caver, who was murdered when Etta was only 15. Etta knows that her mother would be proud of her. Etta is truly grateful and humbled to receive this award, as it inspires her to do even more.
I have been an advocate in Butler County for over 20 years. I found my passion as a student at Miami University. I actually didn't begin college until I was 47 years old, but in my undergrad class of social work, there was a story about a woman with a son and a daughter who was crouched on the floor trying to hide herself or protect herself and her children from her abusive husband. and trying to dial 911. And I realized that that was my past. I was a victim of domestic violence for over 15 years. As a matter of fact, my mother was a victim of a homicide. And as I read that story, I began to realize this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, is help victims of domestic violence. It became my passion. And I was blessed enough to meet people that were working in the field of domestic violence and invited me to join them. So I've traveled around the country. I've actually traveled outside of the country, helping women who are involved in domestic violence. This is an achievement that has humbled me because of the work that I've done over the years with victims of domestic violence. I'm now working on my PhD. I'm learning a lot of theories of why women stay in abusive relationships. A lot of people don't understand the dynamics of what women that are being abused have to deal with. A lot of people don't understand the abuse that they receive verbally, psychologically, physically, emotionally, and also those that have children and what their children have to go through. I do understand those situations. I do understand what those women are going through. And my hope is that for the rest of my life, that I can be a help, a support, whatever they need, I can try to help them find that so that they don't have to continue to live in abusive situations. I want to thank everyone who were involved in me receiving this award. I'm, again, awfully humbled. And I can share this award with my children and my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, that my passion has caused this success in my life.
Michelle Thomas, Director of Student Organizations and Diversity, Farmer School of Business. Michelle strives to pay it forward and to lift as she climbs. She believes that we need each other to make improvements in our communities and to help educate the next generation. She has witnessed firsthand what it is like to work in a system that is not always fair or takes away people's agency and opportunity, a system that treats certain individuals like they are invisible, or at times, perhaps too visible. Her goal is to take someone who may not see their potential or their gifts and help them realize their purpose. As a mentor, she takes her role very seriously. For the students she serves at Miami University, she promises to tell them what they need to hear and not what they want to hear. Her legacy is to leave something better than how she found it. Michelle recognizes that her career path took many iterations to get to this point, but the common thread throughout it all was about helping people. Michelle's inspiration is attributed to her mother, who inspires her every day with her endless ability to care for others. Michelle is the first person in her family to go to college, the first African-American woman to be a fundraiser, Director of Development, for the Farmer School of Business, the first African-American woman to hold the title of Director of Student Organizations and Diversity for the Farmer School of Business, and the first African-American woman to be a fundraiser for the Central Ohio Diabetes Association. If she had unlimited funds and unlimited time, Michelle would build a K-12 school similar to the I Promise School that focuses on low-income families and builds into the program all of the things that hold low-income families back from getting the best education possible. Michelle believes that this award is about all the women in her life who created and supported her and gave her a chance and a path forward.
I am so humbled and honored to receive this award from the YWCA of Hamilton. It's difficult to put into words what this moment means to me because there are so many dynamic women making an impact and creating change every day in their communities. These women inspire and empower me to pursue my passion and purpose in life. For me, that passion is developing, mentoring, and empowering students. Some of these young men and women have been underestimated and undervalued their entire lives. For me, there's nothing more precious than helping a student recognize and unlock their God-given potential, to inspire them to be the next generation of thought leaders, activists, and innovators. As part of my mentoring, I coach students on the importance of having a personal board of directors. Companies have boards of directors to ensure that they're making good decisions in the best interest of the company. I believe that people, all of us, needs a personal board of directors who will guide us and tell us things we need to hear and not what we want to hear. People who will pour into you and offer advice when you have a fork in the road. In my life, I've had an incredible board of directors, and the first 2 board seats have always been occupied by my parents. My career is the direct result of the lessons that my parents have taught me. It is because of their love that I am the woman that I am today. Also, I could never do this work without the love and support of my family, friends, and colleagues. I am so lucky. To my husband, an incredible man who I've been married to for almost 27 years, thank you for being my rock and my best friend. Thank you especially for investing in my dreams and aspirations. You've always put me first, and I'm so grateful to you. Thanks to my beautiful, dynamic, and talented children. You are a gift in my life in every way and have given me a lifetime of incredible memories and moments. You're the reason why I can relate to my students. To my students who I often think of as my own, there are no words that capture how I feel, except thank you for giving me a career and not a job. Lastly, I'd like to close with these words that were posted on a wall of a hospital by an African Presbyterian bishop that was later found by a nun. And it says, "One day when I leave this life and I have to go meet my Maker, he will say to me, 'Show me your wounds.' If I have no wounds," he will say, "was nothing worth fighting for?" I feel that my responsibility in life is to accumulate as many wounds as possible because there are so many things worth fighting for. In the words of John Lewis, let's all get into good trouble.